Hey, welcome to Graphic Policy Television, GPTV. I'm Brett, and my hands is Comics of the Movement #1. A hell of a debut issue. I think really cool. Some awesome history of comics and politics. Exactly the type of thing I totally geek out about. So this is produced by Good Trouble Comics, and it's a reproduction of two really well-known comics. Well, one super well-known, one a little bit more obscure, but also like really important as far as history of comics as well as politics. So Good Trouble Comics, it is, one of the founders is Andrew Aiden, who, for those who might not know, is one of the people behind March with Congressman Lewis. Also involves Kelly Sue DeConnick, Matt Fraction, Valentine De Landro, and Vaughn Shinell. And what this comic is it's got two comics. There's the Montgomery Story, Martin Luther King and the Montgomery Story, which we've reviewed, and that's not going to be the one I focus a lot on. But the other is this interesting comic put out by the Lowndes County Freedom Organization. And it is a really, I would say, like, grassroots, I'm going to say lo-fi, and when you see it, I think you're going to understand what I mean. Lo-fi comic that has a specific goal, and that goal is to educate people about voting and office holders and what it means, and get them like interested to go out and vote. So it was really targeted at African Americans who just got the right to vote, and getting them to understand what they were voting for, the positions, and like the impact of all of it. It really was an educational as well as an attempt to mobilize individuals to go out and make their voice heard through voting. It's really fascinating like that. What's awesome about this comic is that it's got these two original comics in it, but also it has interviews with people who were behind that comic, that original comic, and then a little forward from Andrew Aiden about the two. And you're going to see when I show them off, there's a hell of a difference between the two of them. So the first one about the Martin Luther King and the Montgomery boycott. Sorry, I just want to get the name totally right. The Montgomery Story. There we go. It's an interesting comic. We've reviewed it before, and I'm not going to go into super depth on it, but it's the general story of Martin Luther King and the boycotts that took place. But the biggest is, it really is more about the educational aspects of what they did, why it was successful, and how to repeat it. The comic's goal was to like educate and get people to take action themselves, but really highlight what made that action work, and what made it so successful. So it kind of like was just like here's an example of this sort of movement working, and then here's the details that you need to repeat if you want to make that movement work. That comic was funded through a grant, so it looks really professional, like solid art, really great storytelling, lettering, all that. Like, it looks like a comic we see today. One thing I love about this Comics of the Movement, like, you can see it's done on like old school paper. The printing feels like it's like aged a little bit. Like, this is not a cleaned up like high. I'm sure there's been some work done, but this is not like a high quality reprint that you might see with some other like archive stuff brought back. And I love that, actually. I think that's really cool. I love the old school print of comics. That's what I grew up with, and what I appreciate. So now the interesting one is the Lowndes County Comic Books. So this was a committee that was all about teaching individuals about voting. And the thing that you're going to see really interesting is this Black Panther. This precedes the character of the Black Panther. So this is before the Black Panther comic book character, and this is also before the Black Panther political party. Right here to get people to go and vote. So that is really fascinating history to begin with. But you can hear why they actually approached it this way. Like, what were the things they were trying to do? So, and as far as voting was, what is voting, how to vote, or why to vote, how did the voting work, and can you vote? So education on that. And then politics in general, they wanted to educate people on, like, what is politics, How have we been kept out of politics? Why come together? How can you do to, what can you do to come together? How can people work together in a political organization? Why for political organizations? How do you form a political organization in Lowndes County, Alabama? And then what are the rights and privileges of a political organization? So this is some of the stuff they were trying to educate people on. But this was the beginning of the comic here, and this is what I think is really cool. So it highlighted the elected officials. So you'd have something like this with the sheriff, who the person they were endorsing was, or educating about, was Sidney Logan. And then it would have a story about what does the sheriff do? What are the roles of the sheriff? And what are they responsible for? And through this comic is educate the voters as to exactly what's going on. And you can see it's rough. Like, it is rough art. But there's something so charming about it, so awesome about it. It's really, really cool to see this piece of history and how it was used. And I love it. I love it, love it, love it. And it goes through all these different, like, Board of Education and Treasurer and, like, stuff like that. Like, it's all covered as to what this position is, why it's important, stuff like that. We also get an interview with some of the people behind this, Cortland Cox and Jennifer Lawson, which is pretty awesome. It goes through, like, the history of the actual comic itself and the history behind it and, like, how it got created and just a lot of details. I love this. It seems like this is going to be a issue series, and we're going to get more of this and be able to see more of these obscure comics that shaped politics and shaped where we are. I think this is so cool. It's so awesome. Just super, super excited about this. So go get it. There's also some organizations in the back that you can go support now. I'm really hoping we get this back. I mean, hell, maybe this is what we need to do to get back to basics and get people educated and get them out to vote and get them to really understand why voting matters and these positions they're voting for and how they impact them. Because clearly the educational level, the understanding of the impact is so low. We see that so many people regretting their votes and not understanding how it impacted them, would impact them negatively. So just really, really cool piece of history. Go get this. We've got a link underneath our video where you can purchase now. Imagine this will eventually hit comic shops, but right now we got a link to the Good Trouble Etsy shop where you can go and get your copy. We get nothing for it. It's just awesome to see and go support it. And we're big fans of Good Trouble and Andrew and all them, a buddy of ours, and supporter of the site. And so we're definitely supporting all of them. Go get your copy out now. Hit it up. We got a link, as always. If you are into comics, check us out every day at graphicpolicy.com. And, of course, we're on Facebook, TikTok, Mastodon, Threads, Blue Sky, all at Graphic Policy, keeping it nice and consistent. Until next time, keep reading those comics and keep it geeky. Hey, thanks for watching the previous video from Graphic Policy Television. Just by watching, you help support our site. Thank you so much. Now, if you're watching these videos, you probably care about geeky things like movies, television, comic books, toys, games, video games, you name it. You can go and subscribe right now to our YouTube channel to stay in touch and catch all the new videos, or check out our website at graphicpolicy.com. There's a nice link on this end of the video. But as always, thank you for watching. Keep on rocking and keep it geeky.